Her eyes were just bloodshot. She was shivering nonstop. Why, hello. Welcome back to my channel. So today's video is one that I've been dreading for months now, even though I've seen it coming way back. I still dread it for this day or video to come. For those that don't already know, I moved to Germany mid-June last year, and within the first few months of moving here, I started pet sitting. One, because I just wanted to do a little side gig to earn some extra cash on the side, I guess. But two, because I miss my dogs back at home so much that I would just be crying because I know that I moved away from home, not temporarily but permanently, so that just limits the amount of time I have left with them, and especially knowing that dogs don't really have a very long lifespan. And if I could, I would shave off years off of my life just so that my dogs can live just a bit longer. And I'm very sure a lot of dog moms or dog parents or even pet owners out there can relate. But yeah, like I moved away from home last year when my one and only fur baby, Toby, a golden retriever I have at home, he turned 8 last year, and this year he'll be 9. So I know, as much as I hope he lives forever, but I know he doesn't have a lot of time left in this world of ours. And it just hurts so much more because I know that I more than likely will not be there to be with him when he leaves. So it just hits me really hard every single time I think about it. Like, even now, I'm starting to tear up thinking about it. But yeah, so that's also one of the main reasons why I started pet sitting. I'm sorry if my voice is just shaking or I just start tearing up or crying throughout the video, because it's a topic that's really close to my heart. But yeah, that's also one of the main reasons why I started pet sitting. It's just because I know that I'm not able to have my own pet financially right now. Like, I'm not at that point where I can afford a pet. If I really wanted to, I can, but I know that if I have another pet, I want to be able to fully take care of him or her. If need be, take them to the vet, not have to worry about the bills, not have to worry about, like, can I afford this treatment, or ever get to the point where I can't afford the treatment, and so because of that they have to suffer. Like, I never want that to happen. So I want them to be able to really live a life comfortably. Like, go for grooming, go for puppy lessons or training classes or whatnot. Like, I want to be able to do all of that and also make sure that they have a very good diet and supplements and everything. So I know that because that's what I want to provide for them in terms of care, I can't do that right now. So I know that's why I decided not to have a pet right now. And I figured I need some extra cash. I miss my pets or dogs back home terribly. Like, why not offer pet sitting? So that's what I did for the past few months that I've been here, almost a year now, I guess. And my partner and I have been talking for quite a while now, like the past few weeks. We knew this day was coming. We knew that me pet sitting is not forever. It was just temporary to earn some extra cash on the side so that we can afford traveling around Europe. And we are leaving Germany at the end of this year. However, so far, since I've been here, we've only traveled once to the Netherlands when we visited Amsterdam. And knowing full well that we want to make use of the time we have left to travel as much as possible, seeing how there's so much to see in Europe that I'm very sure we won't be able to cover all of that within a year, let alone less than a year that we have left. So we've been talking for weeks now, and we finally decided to stop pet sitting. That's not something I take very lightly because I've been so packed with pet sitting back to back or dogs at the same time for months now, and I know that whenever I have breaks in between, if it lasts for maybe more than 3 days, I catch myself spiraling downwards again in terms of thinking of my dogs and my pets. So pet sitting has really helped me with distracting me from that. And I guess you can say that I'm somewhat grieving the loss of my pets. Even though they're still here, they're still alive and well. It's just that they're not with me And so I just feel like, I guess I'm grieving the loss of them, or the loss of having them around me physically. And I guess it also applies to the saying of like, the best way to somewhat cope with the loss of a pet is to get another one. And because I can't have another one, I've just been looking after pets or dogs back to back. And so it's just been keeping me distracted from all this over the months. And I know that once I stop, I will start spiraling downwards again. And so it's not something that I take lightly in terms of deciding to stop pet sitting. But I know that if I don't stop, my partner and I probably won't have the chance to really travel. And I already feel bad for my partner because deciding to pet sit was my idea and it's my thing, but it also affects him since we sometimes do look after the dogs at our place, or we also look after the dogs at their place. And normally my partner accompanies me during the weekends, and that means he pretty much doesn't get a chance to fully rest during the weekends. And so I've always felt bad about that because he's always accompanying me to look after them, do multiple drop-ins a day, like 3 to 4. And especially if we're looking after multiple dogs, it just basically takes up our whole day or the whole weekend where we're just constantly looking after them. And the only time we have for ourselves is just meals, a short break, and then back to it. And it just goes on and on like that. So I've always felt bad that because of me, he hasn't been able to really enjoy his weekends, play his games, relax and whatnot. And also because of pet sitting, we can't really do anything for ourselves, or we can't really do anything that we want. Like, hey, do you want to go to a nearby town or city this weekend? I can't. We're looking after puppers this week. And so yeah, it's really hindered us from exploring or traveling. Like so far, aside from visiting Netherlands or Amsterdam, I would say the only times we will go out are basically just to do grocery shopping, and that's it. We don't really travel, we don't explore the towns, we don't explore cities because we just don't have time for that since I'm pet sitting. And yeah, so we made the difficult decision to stop pet sitting so that we can fully focus on traveling right now. And it absolutely breaks my heart. We decided this a few days ago, and I've yet to really announce this news to the owners that I help pet sit for, because we've just come out of a long holiday weekend or whatnot, and I didn't want to just text them during the weekend and ruin their whole weekend, because then they'll have to worry about finding a new pet sitter. And so I decided I'll broadcast the message to them tomorrow. But seeing how we made this decision a few days ago, we were still pet sitting. Like this past weekend, we were looking after 4 dogs, 2 from the same owners, and then the other 2 each different owners. And I just started crying, like knowing that this will be my last time seeing them. Like just thinking about it now is getting me emotional as well and teary, because I do truly love them like my own, and I feel like I gave each and every one of them a little piece of my heart. And knowing that I pretty much won't ever see them again or fully know how they're doing, it's all just in my head, just hoping that they're doing fine out there, and that the next pet sitter actually looks after them and loves them. I'm sorry that I'm just losing it right now. I just love them so much. And I feel like a lot of them are misunderstood, that other pet sitters don't really get them, because I've had the owners tell me that they've had bad experiences. Like the 2 dogs that belong to the same owner that we looked after this past weekend, they said they struggle finding a pet sitter that is willing to even look after them because they're brothers, right? And since the beginning, they were brothers. They played together, they hang out together, they're totally fine with each other, they love each other. But because of one bad experience with a pet sitter that they had over here in the past, even though it was just to look after them for a weekend, after that weekend, they never got along since. Like they would fight to the point where blood is drawn. And so for years now, ever since that happened, they've been separated by a baby gate, and they are not allowed to be in the same room with one another for more than a minute or whatnot, because then they'll start fighting. And because of that, a lot of pet sitters now are afraid to look after them. And it's crazy that this happened just because of one bad experience with a pet sitter. So I totally feel for the owners, and I really worry for the dogs that have issues that I look after, be it anxiety or this whole situation with these two brothers. I just wish and hope that the next pet sitters that they find do take the time and be patient, understanding, and loving to these puppers. Because I myself, I used to have a Shih Tzu mix. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that breed right, but anyways, I used to have a little dog or pupper, and my family decided to go on a little trip, and so we left her with a somewhat boarding place for a week or so. And when we got back to pick her up, her eyes were just bloodshot. She was shivering nonstop. She was just kept in this tiny cage, and when we brought her home, she just ran immediately and started hiding. And it took a while for her to stop shaking, for her eyes to go back to normal, as in like not bloodshot or whatnot. It took her a while to be comfortable again around us. So obviously we know that she was mistreated or abused. And so I understand the worry that pet owners would have when they're trying to find a pet sitter that they can trust or rely on. And even though like I know I have to do this for myself, but the dog mom in me just worries for all these puppers that I look after. Like I just hope they'll be well taken care of by the next pet sitter. And what hit me the most this past weekend, like I just finished looking after them yesterday and one of them this morning. What hit me the most is that every single time I finish pet sitting, I will always pet the puppers and be like, be a good girl or be a good boy, okay? I'll see you soon. And this time when I pet them and I was about to say that, I stopped and I was like, it just hit me that I'll never see them again. So I just started crying, and yeah, it's just really hard. Like I already had to say my first goodbye to a dog or a pupper that I pet sit back in December because his family moved back to the States. So I had to say goodbye. And even now, months later, I would still often think about him and wonder like, I wonder how he's doing. I wonder if he's finding all the good sticks to play with. I wonder if he's playing with snow wherever he's at. He's the first dog that I pet sit over here. He's my first ever dog that I've pet sit for. So he holds a special place in my heart. And he's the first ever dog as well that I've seen actually play with sticks. Growing up in a city, I guess, I don't really see dogs playing with sticks or snow or whatnot. And he was the first dog that I've ever seen do that. And so now, even whenever I walk puppers, whenever I see a nice stick or a stick that I think Scout, which is his name, would like, I'll be like, I wonder if he'll play with this one. Because one thing that we would do together when I would bring him on walks is to find good sticks for him to play with. Like I will find sticks and I would be like, hey Scout, look at this, and I'll point at it and see if he likes it or not, whether it's Scout approved. And if it is approved, then he'll start playing with it. If it's not, he'll just carry on and try and find a better stick. So that's why I have this thing where, like, even till now, when I would walk dogs over here and I see a stick, I'll be like, I wonder if that's Scout approved. And yeah, I just feel like I just love all the dogs I look after so much. And I really do hope that the owners that I help pet sit for know how much I love their dogs and how much I tried to give them the best care I could. It just sucks that I have to do this. Like, I know why I have to do it, and I agree that this is for the best if I want to be able to travel and make the most out of the time I have left here in Germany. But I feel like this is just leaving such a huge hole in my heart, and all the more I just can't wait to have my own pet one day, just so that I can just annoy them with my love. But yeah, it breaks my heart knowing that now that we've made the decision, I didn't really get to say my goodbyes to some of them properly. Like, I will still be pet sitting, just that I will not be accepting any more new dates or any new dates. Some of the owners already reserved me a few months prior to their holiday, so those dates that I've already agreed on, I will still look after them unless they want to try and find someone new, which I totally understand. But other than those dates that we've agreed on months before, I will not not be accepting new dates. And so those puppers owners that have not reserved me in advance for their holidays, I won't be able to say my goodbyes to them, which sucks, but I guess in a way it's also good because the goodbyes are never easy, especially with pets. But yeah, now that my partner and I have decided to stop pet sitting, I guess we get to look forward to traveling within the next few weeks or the coming weeks, which I'm really looking forward to. And yeah, hopefully you guys will join us on our little journey traveling around Europe. And till next time, peace.